What is the spiritual dream meaning of airplanes?
What if the woman who vanished into thin air was never actually lost? What if she was ascending into the exact transformation your dream is trying to show you right now?
Let's talk about Amelia Earhart. Disappeared July 2nd, 1937. No wreckage, no farewell, just sky. Those are the facts, but they're not the truth.
Because her real terror wasn't the flight. It wasn't the vast, empty ocean beneath her. Her true fear was staying on the ground.
I mean, this was a woman who refused to be grounded. She was the first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic. She shattered altitude records. And she earned it. She worked as a nurse, a truck driver, a stenographer, anything to fund her dream. She even survived a devastating crash in 1935 that destroyed her plane. And what did she do? She just kept flying.
So when she disappeared, at the absolute peak of her greatest ambition, she didn't vanish into failure. No way. She ascended into legend, into mystery, into the beyond.
And this is where it all connects back to you. That airplane you keep seeing in your dreams, the one taking off or maybe the one you're racing to board, it's not random. It is not just travel anxiety. It is your soul speaking in Amelia's language, and you need to listen now. So ask yourself this, and be honest. Are you, right now, in the middle of a transition that you are just terrified to complete? Are you mid-flight in your own life? You know that feeling? You're way past the point of turning back, but the destination, it's nowhere in sight. Have you been deliberately grounding yourself, keeping yourself small, telling yourself it's safer because it feels so much easier than the terrifying beauty of actually rising up? And is someone in your life asking you to stay small? And more importantly, are you letting them? And let's be perfectly clear. These are not rhetorical questions. These questions are the dream. The entire purpose of it is to force you to answer. Because when your subconscious hands you an airplane, it is not whispering, it is screaming. This is one of the most spiritually loaded, high-stakes symbols your mind can produce. It is anything but subtle. And here's why this is so urgent, especially for women, right now. This dream is an invitation. It's a call to rise, to take the lead, and to finally leave that safe, familiar ground, the ground of who everyone else needed you to be. So think about the takeoff in your dream. That moment is not arrogance. It's not ego. It is the courageous act of finally accepting that you were built for so much more than just staying put. And this isn't some new age idea. This symbol holds immense power across many disciplines. In shamanism, flight is the soul's journey between worlds. In Jungian psychology, it's the process of becoming fully yourself. In therapy, it's seen as your mind rehearsing possibilities you're too afraid to face when you're awake. And in dream theology, the airplane is the chariot carrying you from who you were to who you are becoming. As Amelia herself said, adventure is worthwhile in itself. See, she wasn't reckless. She was just awake. And your dream is asking you to wake up too. So this is the crucial point. Her transformation is now your invitation. She disappeared into legend. The airplane arrives in your dreams. She ascended into mystery. And now it is awaiting your answer.
She transformed. The final question is simple. Are you willing to do the same?
Part 2. We are jumping right in. The 10 most urgent, most critical airplane dreams. And listen up, because I guarantee one of these belongs to you. First things first, let's get one thing straight. When you see an airplane in your dream, it is not just an airplane. It's a language. Your soul is talking to you, and trust me, you need to listen. Okay, these first 5, think of them as your soul's alarm clock. They're all about what's blocking you, what you're afraid of, and the deadlines that are coming up fast. So pay very close attention. So, number 1, missing the flight. Oh, you know that feeling, right? You see the plane pulling away, that sick feeling in your gut? But here's the thing. This isn't some bad omen that you've already failed. No, it's the complete opposite. It's a wake-up call. It's your soul literally screaming, hey, time is running out. The gate is still open. You haven't missed it yet, but it's not going to stay open forever. So right now, what's the decision you've been putting off? Name it. Say it out loud. What is it? All right, let's talk about the plane crash dream. I know it sounds terrifying, but don't panic. This dream is almost never about actual death. It's about collapse. And you know what? Sometimes a collapse is exactly what you need.
It's the merciful end to something that was never going to last anyway. So think of it less like a catastrophe and more like a necessary landing. You got to be real with yourself here. What in your life is already on its way down? What are you trying to hold together with duct tape and pure will? It's time to let go of the controls and just bail. Okay, but what if you're not a passenger? What if you are flying the plane? Whoa, this is a game changer. This dream is pure power being handed directly to you. Your soul is basically shouting, "You're in charge now. Stop waiting for a pilot. You are the pilot."
So stop waiting for permission. Think about it. Where have you been looking for a green light? From your boss, your partner, your parents? Pick one thing. Make a decision right now, without asking anyone. Just feel that power. That's yours.
Next up, turbulence. That heart in your throat shaking where you're sure everything's about to fall out of the sky. Here's the absolute key. Turbulence does not equal danger. It's just resistance. It actually means you're moving forward, you're climbing higher, and you're hitting the friction of change. That's a good thing.
So you have to learn to tell the difference between the shaking of transformation and the warning signs of a real crash. Ask yourself that question about what feels unstable in your life. Is this just turbulence, or is this something more? The answer changes everything. But what about the plane that just can't take off? You know, the engines are roaring, you're on the runway, but you're just stuck on the ground. This one's about being blocked from the inside. Everything looks ready to go, but some internal belief, some fear, is acting like a lead weight.
And this means you have to ask a really tough question. Who benefits from you staying grounded? Who likes it when you play small? Be brutally honest. Are you protecting them, or are you betraying yourself? Because you can't do both. You just can't.
Okay, so we've covered the alarms. Now let's get into the maps. These next 5 dreams are different. They're not just warnings. They're your personal GPS, showing you the way forward, showing you what's possible.
What about when you're on the ground? Just watching the planes go by, seeing other people live these big, free lives. That ache you feel? That's not envy. Get that out of your head. It's longing. And longing is your soul's compass. It's pointing the way.
So don't get hung up on the people. Look at what they represent. Is it freedom, courage, adventure? Whatever it is, that's what your soul wants for you. Those are your marching orders. So what's one small thing you can do this week to move toward that feeling?
But hey, what if you're flying, but you realize you're going to the wrong place? This dream is a huge red flag for misalignment. It means you said yes to something big, a job, a relationship, a city, when your soul was screaming no. You followed someone else's map.
You've got to be ruthless with yourself on this one. It is not too late to change your flight plan. I promise you, the price you'll pay for staying on the wrong path is way higher than the inconvenience of a detour. Name that commitment, it's time to redirect.
Then there's the empty airplane. You look around and you're the only one on board. Now, this can feel lonely, but it's not about loneliness. It's about initiation. You're stepping into a transformation so deep, so personal that you have to do it alone.
So stop trying to drag everyone along for the ride. Some people were only meant to be on one leg of your journey. Their tickets expired, and that's okay. You can be grateful for the time you had, but you have to let them get off the plane. Your flight is still taking off.
What if it's not your plane that crashes? What if you watch someone else's go down? Pay attention, because this dream is always a mirror. It's either a very real fear you have for someone else's path, or, more likely, it's a fear about a part of yourself that you're seeing in them.
See, so much of our anxiety for other people is just our own anxiety in disguise. So ask yourself, whose crash are you worried about? And then, take a deep breath and ask the real question, how is this fear actually about me, about my path? You gotta bring that fear back to you. That's where you can do something about it.
And finally, the best one, the peaceful flight. You're just soaring, the sky is clear, everything is calm. Please, do not dismiss this as just a nice dream. It is so much more than that. This is a preview, a trailer. It's your soul showing you what's on the other side. It's showing you a state of peace that isn't just possible, it's meant for you.
Okay, let's pull this all together. Because every single dream we've talked about, the crash, the missed flight, being all alone, soaring peacefully, they all point to the exact same thing. They all boil down to one single fundamental question.
Look, the airplane is you. It's your potential to rise above it all. Your soul is reminding you that you were never meant to stay on the ground. The ground is just the launching pad. So the real question, the only question that matters, is this. Are you willing to leave? Not someday, not when you're ready, now. Are you willing to take off?
So, you had the dream, the one with the airplane. You woke up, your heart's still pounding, and you're thinking, what did that mean? But here's the truth. Understanding the dream isn't the point. It was a wake-up call. And the real work? It starts now.
Part 3. Look, this is not some abstract dream interpretation class. This is about what you do the second your feet hit the floor. Forget trying to solve the puzzle. That dream was an alarm bell. Your soul shook you awake because something in your life requires your immediate, undivided attention. Today.
Let's just get this straight right now. Your soul did not wake you up so you could scroll through a dream dictionary and go back to sleep. No. This is a critical moment. It's a flight plan handed to you from the deepest part of yourself. And to help you actually take off, we're diving into 7 urgent, concrete practices. Each one is built for a different kind of woman. Find the one that's yours and start immediately.
Okay, we're going to start with the mind. These first few practices are all about translating that deep, gut-level message from your soul into something your logical brain can grab onto and actually do something with.
All right, for those of you who find your clarity on the page, listen up. This one's called the Dream Journal Cockpit, and I want you to forget everything you think you know about journaling. This is not about passively recording what happened. This is about actively decoding the message.
The second you wake up, before you check your phone, before anything, you grab a notebook. You write these 3 questions at the top of the page and you just go. 5 minutes. No stopping, no editing, and absolutely no thinking. The magic here is the consistency. 21 days straight. I promise you, by day 7, you're going to see patterns. By day 21, you'll know exactly what that flight was all about.
And I mean this, do not skip days. This is not homework. This is medicine. This is you showing up for yourself in the most powerful way you can.
Okay, now for the strategist out there, the woman who thinks in bullet points, objectives, and forward motion. This is for you. It's called the altitude audit, and it requires your most ruthless honesty.
Here is how it works. You take out a piece of paper, you draw a line. On the far left, you write ground level. On the far right, cruising altitude. Now you plot where you really are right now in these 4 key areas of your life. Where are you flying high and where are you still stuck on the tarmac? Now this is the most important part. Find the one area where the gap between where you are and where you want to be feels the most painful. Circle it. That is your target. That's where every ounce of your energy goes next.
Let's talk about that horrible dream where you missed the flight. If that's the one that keeps showing up for you, and you know you're a chronic procrastinator or a people pleaser, this intervention is yours. And I'm not going to soften it. This is direct.
So let's just put the question on the table. What flight are you about to miss in your real waking life? You already know the answer. Your soul knows it. Your body definitely knows it. It's time to just face it.
You're going to set a timer for 10 minutes. And you're going to write down every single dream, goal, or desire you have put on the back burner. No filtering, no excuses. Then you read that list and you circle the one that makes your stomach literally clench. That's it. That's the flight. And today, not tomorrow, not when you feel ready, you take one real concrete step toward it. Book the ticket, send the email. You act before you're ready, you board the plane anyway.
Okay, now we go deeper. We're moving from the mind down into the soul. These next practices are all about bypassing the noise, bypassing that inner critic, and connecting directly with your own deep, ancient wisdom.
If you're someone who connects spiritually through your body, through your breath, the embodied flight meditation is your new daily practice. But let's be clear, this isn't about relaxation. This is about a daily recalibration of who you are.
Every single morning before your phone, you sit. On your 4th breath, you visualize and you feel the plane lifting off the ground. You feel that sensation of ascent, that release in your chest, in your gut, through your whole body, just for 2 minutes. Then you open your eyes and you ask out loud, what am I ready to leave behind today? Saying it gives it power. Then you get up and you move through your day as the woman who has already reached that new altitude.
All right, for my storytellers, my artists, the women who find truth in myth and archetype, this is the Amelia letter. And it is such a powerful way to get advice from the bravest part of yourself.
You are going to write a letter to Amelia Earhart. You tell her everything, your fears, what you're waiting for, why you're scared. Be totally raw. Then you write her response back to you. Yes, you write it. You channel that woman who flew solo across the Atlantic. What would she have to say about your excuses? Then you read her letter to yourself out loud. This works because you already have that wisdom inside you. Amelia isn't out there somewhere, she's in here.
An inner ascent has to be matched by an outer reality. It just has to. So these final practices are about your world. They're about how you rise in connection with the people around you. Because let's be honest, no one takes flight in a vacuum.
If you notice your airplane dreams get really intense during times of relationship stress, this is your tool. It's called the Relationship Flight Check, and the idea is so simple. Every single airplane has a weight limit.
So you're going to list every major relationship in your life. And next to each name, you write one of two words: lift or wait. That's it. A lift relationship makes you feel braver, bigger, clearer. A wait relationship does the opposite. The choice is that stark. There's no middle ground. And your action item for this week? Invest more of your precious time in one lift relationship and create one firm, clear boundary in a wait relationship. Your relationships are your aircraft. You have to choose your passengers carefully.
And finally, this is for the woman who knows in her bones that we rise faster when we rise together. This is the community cockpit, and it's based on a fundamental truth. We were not designed to do this alone.
Find one other woman who is also on the verge of taking off. Just one. Meet once a week and ask each other these 3 questions. And here's the most important rule. No fixing. No giving advice unless someone explicitly asks for it. Your only job is to witness, to hold that space. This is how you build your flight crew, and it might just be the most important thing you do all year.
Your dream did not come to confuse you. It came because the wisest part of you has already decided it is time to go. Think about Amelia Earhart. She didn't wait for aviation to be perfectly safe. She flew when those planes were basically held together with wire and a prayer. Why? She flew because the call to rise was louder than the fear of falling.
That exact same call is inside of you right now. It's probably been there your whole life. So the only question that actually matters, the only one left on the table, is this: are you going to answer it?
The runway is clear, the engine is on, it is time.